For nearly a month, people in Lebanon and Israel braced for a wider war. A deadly rocket strike from Lebanon last month on the town of Majdal Shams in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights was followed by an Israeli retaliatory strike that killed Hezbollah's top commander in southern Beirut. The powerful Iran-backed group vowed to respond. The threat triggered a slew of flight cancellations on both sides of the border, a chorus of governments imploring their citizens to leave Lebanon and Israel, and a breathless diplomatic effort to avert an escalation that Western governments feared would spark a regional conflict. On Sunday morning, Hezbollah said it had delivered its anticipated response by launching hundreds of drones and Katyusha rockets, Soviet-era short-range projectiles. The swarm of airborne weapons, it said, sought to overwhelm Israel's vaunted air defense systems and pave a path for its targets. 11 Israeli military sites in northern Israel and the occupied Golan Heights. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who said all of Hezbollah's drones were intercepted. Israeli officials said that it had preemptively struck Hezbollah targets overnight to prevent a much wider attack, saying it hit many rocket launchers in Lebanon. 3 people were killed in those Israeli attacks, according to the Lebanese Ministry of Health, which does not distinguish between civilians and combatants. The cross-border fire on Sunday morning marked a significant escalation for 11 months of hostilities between Hezbollah and Israel, but it appears to have dampened fears of a wider war. For now, in Israel, authorities soon lifted security restrictions in the country's northernmost territory, known as the Upper Galilee. In Lebanon, Hezbollah said it had concluded attacks on Israel for the day. This signals the resumption of the low-intensity conflict at the border. It also seems to mark the conclusion of the anticipated Lebanese escalation that brought the Middle East, once again, to the brink of all-out war. Hezbollah has said this was the first phase of its response, but has been scant on the details of a follow-up. The phrase may be rhetorical. The group is prone to keeping its threats open-ended, but while Hezbollah's promised response appears to be largely out of the way, Israel must continue to wait for another threat to transpire. Iran's vowed revenge for the killing of Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran, which it blamed on Israel. After the attacks in Beirut and Tehran at the end of last month, Western and Israeli intelligence officials, diplomats and analysts scrambled to figure out what the retaliations promised by Iran and its most powerful non-state partner might look like.